is holding a meeting in Geneva about a different kind of weapons threat, autonomous weapons known as killer robots. This just a week after 50 artificial intelligence scientists boycotted a South Korean university for launching an AI project with a leading defense company. Boycott organizer Toby Walsh says if developed, autonomous weapons will be the third revolution in warfare. They will permit war to be fought faster and at a scale greater than ever before. The president from the South Korean University, KAIST, responded within hours saying, quote, "I would like to reaffirm that KAIST does not have any intention to engage in development of lethal autonomous weapon systems and killer robots." The boycott ended after the South Korean University agreed not to develop these killer robots. Toby Walsh is at a UN meeting in Geneva to discuss autonomous robots, autonomous weaponry, and he joins us now. Thank you, sir, so much for joining us here on the program. You want a ban on these killer robots, but there's an argument out there that they can be engineered or hardwired to be ethical, to follow instructions, to protect us humans. Isn't that possible?
It's an interesting argument, but unfortunately it's fatally flawed in two ways. First, that we don't know how to do that. We will work out how to do that eventually, but the sorts of weapons that will be developed by the military in the next 5 years won't be more ethical. And then secondly, when we can, there are no computer programs that we know that can't be hacked. So any ethical safeguards we will put in will be removed, and they will be the perfect weapons for terrorists, rogue states to use against civilian populations.
Now, at the UN, you're there discussing the issue of autonomous robots and weapons. We know that the United Nations is a very slow-moving body. Do you fear that there's not enough time to act?
It is true. The UN does move rather slowly on these issues. It took a long time to ban nuclear weapons. It's going to take, it seems, quite a while to get them onto this issue. But we don't have too much time. These are technologies that are being developed very rapidly, and it's going to be much easier to prohibit them before they're used by the military than after.
Toby, just to clarify here, what you are advocating is not just the end of the advancing artificial intelligence. You're not a Luddite here. There's a difference between good AI and evil AI that could potentially bring about the end of the world as we know it.
Exactly. There's plenty of good things that AI is going to do. It's going to be actually very useful for the military in many settings. No one should ever risk a life or limb clearing a minefield. Perfect job for a robot. Equally, autonomous cars, many other aspects of AI are going to invade our life and make our lives much better. But we do get to choose whether some technologies don't get used to make life worse. And this would be one. It would make war terrible. These would be weapons of mass destruction.
Now, you and other high-profile figures like Elon Musk, you want a ban on AI weapons. If there is no ban on autonomous weaponry, what could happen? I mean, what kind of future are we looking at?
Oh, I'm afraid it will be a very dystopian future. Actually, Hollywood's given us a pretty good prediction of what it would look like. But we don't have to go down that way. We could decide, like some technologies, like chemical weapons, like biological weapons, that it would be better not to use them for warfare, better to use them for good purposes.
We don't want to see AI being weaponized. But for the people out there who are still not quite believing what you're saying right now, they're just saying, look, this is the stuff of Black Mirror, of Terminator, this is the stuff of sci-fi, it's not a real threat. What do you have to say to them?
We're very near to actually having this threat. I'm very sorry to say. We have the beginnings of these technologies. There's prototypes of these weapons under development today by many of the militaries, by the US, by the Chinese, by the Russians. You can see YouTube videos of the prototype weapons that will be fielded in the next decade. So we don't have long to act.
Toby Walsh, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
New Listerine Bright White gives you 2 times more whitening.